Hey, how's it going, everybody? So this video was intended for to be posted on Patreon, and I figured I would just share it with everybody else that's on my YouTube page as well. Since you guys have been following me for I don't know how long, you might have just subscribed, or could have been a long while ago. This is just a little update video. I haven't done something like this in a few years anyway. Usually I'll just make like a little post or a tweet or something about it. But I just wanted to clear up what's been going on, stuff like that. I know I don't want to air dirty laundry or get into like the woe is me stuff or anything like that. If you've been a subscriber to my channel, I'm hoping the content or whatever I'm sharing with you guys anyway is, for the most part uplifting or at least inspirational to some point. And I don't want to water it down with the sadness and stuff like that, right? I apologize if the camera's all grainy and stuff like that. I'm looking at stuff. There's like it's a mess where I'm at right now, but it is what it is. I didn't want to put too much no production value. Just hit record. Just kind of hopefully do a really quick video here and kind of go into that stuff for you. So long story short, really what's been going on is It's not that I haven't picked up a pencil in like a month or anything like that. I've been doodling here and there, but what really happened was I've never been a guy that's been depressed, okay? And I don't, there's no reason for me to be. I'm very fortunate and lucky and all that cool stuff that comes with, being one of the lucky ones that doesn't have to have any really reason to be moping around or sad or anything like that. And, but needless to say, I was getting some thoughts, I suppose, that would kind of were kind of scary and worrying me a little bit. Not like I was going to kill myself or anything as serious as that. Just questioning the whole art thing. Like, what's going on? What's happening? And all that. What had led up to it before that? I know I did like a stream or two with a couple of you guys, or a few of you were in there anyway. I don't even know if the stream might still be up. I don't know if I posted it or whatever, but I definitely know I was talking to some of you, and it was really interesting. What was happening is what got to this point anyway was I was working on a client project. If you guys might know, for Kyle Simmons, it was a RPG card playing game, and I was doing Jessup King as well, and I was wrapping it up. I feel like I'm just deviating even more. Really, it doesn't even matter what I was doing. It just started. What the core of it is that I feel like I don't need to explain everything to you guys. The core of it was that I go to work, then I come home and I'm doing more work. Even Jessup King, even though it's my own thing, it still felt like work. And for better or for worse, I mean, it just made me like, it just wasn't fun anymore. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't enjoying it. It was just, everything was just kind of going downhill, slowly downhill. And around this time, I found this one guy on YouTube anyway. At least he has some videos going there. I think his name is Jordan Peterson or something Peterson. I don't know if he's a psychologist or something along those lines. He was essentially saying, and I wouldn't say this is black and white. He was just suggesting, or at least very heavily suggesting, that there's really two wavelengths that we work at, right? So one is people that are industrious, he calls them, people that all they do is work, but they enjoy it. It's what they enjoy doing. And I feel like a lot of artists are like this, especially comic book artists. We all know going into it, you don't have to, your style determines how long you sit at the board and draw. If you want to have like a life and some things outside of it, your style might change and all that. But regardless, all of that is to say, the industrious people, that's what they chase. That's what makes them happy in life, right? And the other side is, and I don't know that there's a name for it, and I don't know what it is. If anybody knows, please leave a little note in the description below, in a comment below. But it's people that essentially want a life. And so the two costs to these things, right? The one is the industrious people. They get, sorry, I got like cat hair. I keep moving my nose. There it is. I see it. So the industrious people, what they do is, since they're pursuing and they're going to be like the top people in a field, the cost to that generally is like a social life or friends or family or loved ones, all that stuff. And the best part, I suppose I'll add to that, is I've known that myself for a very long time, and the cost to that is, I know it's been relationships and all those things, but it was okay because I was still chasing the goal and the dream. And that dream and goal has changed over the years, over like the last, what would it be now, 17 years, probably around there. And it's focused, it's been unfocused, it's been here, it's been there, right, as life would be. But the cost of that is like friends and the social life and all that cool stuff. Uh, but you gain all those really cool rewards, right? Like if you imagine you're going into something all the time, you're going to get into a different echelon, or you're going to be in a social group or an elite status, we'll say. And that's not like a prideful or a better than kind of view. It's just that's what's going to happen. That's all you do. That's what you consume yourself with. That's what you'll become. And that's not a bad thing. If that makes you happy, God bless. And the other side is if you want a life. Now, if you want a life, it means you're not going to get top tier status. It most likely won't happen, and that's why I wanted to outline at the beginning, saying like there's the black and white, right? I don't think it's this or that. It's combinations of both, but they weigh more in one direction for individuals. I think. But the life part is, again, the social, all the stuff that I think as artists we're always telling ourselves, for better or for worse, that you're not allowed to do or you're not supposed to do, because you have to do this to be, climb the ladder success thing. So anyway, I had heard it and it just sparked something in my head that I was like, I think that's what the problem was for me for a long time, is that I'm pretending to be that workaholic. And when I say workaholic, it's just easier for me to say than industrious personality. That just sounds a little, even though that's what it is, I just like the workaholic. It sounds cooler to me in a way. But I tried to be that, with the caveat that I was aware that I still needed a social time with family and those like my loved ones, right? Socializing with friends, I put under that, and that took a huge hit growing up because of this. But I was never happy, and it was just like, why am I not happy? And what I'd come to the realization, or at the time what I thought was, sorry if you can hear the birds chirping in the background. And what I thought was, because that's not what I want to do. I enjoy playing a video game. I enjoy doing these things, right? So I just thought, you know what? If I'm fighting this, I'm gonna try. Maybe I'm this. I don't want to say this other personality, but maybe that's what makes me happy is having more of a life and less worrying about work and business and what I'm gonna be, and by the time I die, or whatever you want to get into with that. So I've been doing that, but it's been feeling very weird. I'd imagine anybody in here that's maybe gone through this, you might know where this conversation is going to end up going. But like 17 years or whatever of actively drawing, trying to like make something of myself, I suppose, or at least being on the path, and then just stopping. It's felt weird. It's felt totally odd. I feel like I was joking with a friend at work. I feel kind of like what's the word I want to use? Like a normie, like all those people I know I would make comments about, of like, how can you come home and watch TV and just, and I still hate this word, veg out. I hate that. It just makes you sound brain dead, right? Veg out and just like not do anything with your life. Is that all you want to do, is work and go home and whatever? And I could never relate to it. I never could understand it. Needless to say, I get it now. I totally get it. The other side of it too was I was starting to notice that I was just feeling like I was like, all this, like, I know it looks like chaos behind me and stuff, but every single comic book I have here, all the art I've done, I'm looking on look at some of the artwork that I have up on the wall here of JESOP King. I've got my monitor open. That's why there's this stupid light shining in my face. I'm gonna read a couple things here. But everything was looking the same, and nothing was inspirational. Everything just looked bleh, like almost like everything was just painted with a gray brush, right? Then that's where the thoughts, where I was starting to say the depression kind of thing, and I still don't want to call it that, because I feel like, yes, people have things worse, but I was aware of this, aware of where these thoughts were going to go. Again, not like kill yourself kind of stuff, but I know like that darkness that I always hear people talk about, but I can never relate to. And I would go for a walk, and I'm like, I just need to get out of. I need to get away from this, right? I just need to get out of here. So I'd go for a walk and stuff, and it's fall now, right? Almost, it's basically winter, and it just, I love it. It's crisp air, everything's clean. It's just, you get your immune system pumping because you're cold. It's great. I love it. Favorite time of the year. I'm walking, and I noticed myself, and this might sound stupid, but I I ripped a patch of grass out of somebody's yard while I was walking. Not like in a weird way. I made sure nobody's around. I just took it, and it was just I just needed to feel something, like feel the grass and the soil or whatever, right? And I'm not ashamed to say it. Like, I would smell it just to get the smells. I didn't taste it. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything weird. If this wasn't weird enough, but I just had to, and I was touching, like I was walking by a chain link fence and I just had to touch it. I was like, my brain was firing in weird spots. It was like I wasn't connected, so I felt like I needed to connect with things, not necessarily people, but just things, because I'm so used to digital now. Even having this pencil and paper I've been sketching with feels great, but there's just a disconnect. And what I've just come to the conclusion of is that this might be the first time I've ever experienced burnout. And I don't know if everybody's like, I thought I had experienced burnout before, of just like, I've been drawing all week. I'm going to take it Saturday off. I don't think that's burnout. So if anybody here is watching and you've had burnout and what I'm saying is what you think or what you experience as burnout, I'm sorry. I didn't, I wasn't aware of it being this brutal. And to get out of it, I feel like I'm on the upswing now, and I'll be wrapping this up shortly, but I'm on the upswing now of getting back into it because I miss it. I miss the pain of it, I suppose, and not in like a masochistic way, or like I need the pain to get my artwork and stuff like that. But just it's different. It's a different feeling, that's for sure. But it is what it is. And I appreciate everybody's comments and stuff. I wanted to make this video sooner. I just needed to get in the right headspace to do it. I'm not, like, again, I don't mean this video. The intent is not for you guys to leave a whole shitload of comments saying like, chin up, John, you'll make it, all that stuff. That's great, thank you, but I just want to make this video mostly just to let you guys know what's up, in hopes that some of you might be going through this shit too, or have gone through it, and I hope you're getting over it and stuff like that. That's it. Just the awareness stuff, and maybe make you think, like, maybe you're stuck in this, and now you might know that you're not alone. There's and I'm going to continue to call it burnout. I'm not going to call it, depression. To me just seems like it's not like a weakness or less than. It's a serious thing. That's why I don't want to call it that, because I'm aware of it and I don't want to get there, right? So I've been trying to actively do it. So that's why I don't want to say I was there, but I'm aware of those. I can see how easy it is to sort of fall in it. Again, not in a weakness way, but just I had to get out of my situation. Things had to change, and it wasn't even a huge change. Just get out of the house, that kind of stuff. So anyway, long story short, so that now the new update anyway is I've been reading a book. Sorry, listening to the audiobook, reading it, called The Art of War. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Highly recommend it. I actually made a tweet and a Facebook post, and I'm going to read this one comment by the author that I thought was amazing. But I wanted to read this one. A friend of mine, Andrew, he's I don't want to say he's a writer, but he when we talk, it sounds like he really wants to be that thing, right? Like an artist in a different way, a written artist kind of thing, right? So if you're a photographer, all that stuff, it still applies. And we always talk about it back and forth, but I just feel like he's always had that missed up, like he hasn't given himself that shot to just write shit, just like all you art buddies of mine and stuff, where I tell you, make that mini comic and draw shit, because that's how you're gonna grow. You grow in shit. Vegetables too, right? So this one quote I just thought it was a little bit more applicable to him, and I'll just read it to you guys. It's super quick. And the quote goes, "If you find yourself asking yourself and your friends, am I really a writer? Am I really an artist? Chances are you are. The counterfeit innovator is widely self-confident. The real one is scared to death." And that whole chapter there, he was talking about being scared. And being scared as an artist, right? And it just resonated with me because of like where my headspace has been for the last little bit, of not negativity, but just like I lost I forgot my why. I forgot, like, why am I even doing this? And I thought I knew my why, and you guys know I've always talked to you guys about it, but it just never felt real. It just felt that's the mantra, and we're gonna do that, and that's it. We'll just do that thing. Reality, what it is that I found out by going back and looking at stuff that I've done, why I even picked up a pencil that I can remember when I was, I don't know, very young, right, is storytelling. Storytelling is what I love to do. What I've come to realize is that it's comics aren't my love. And I've said this before. Comics aren't the thing that I wake up in the morning and I just get like, let's go draw comics, right? Like, it's the reason why enjoy comics, but it's not the thing that I want to do, is because it is a medium that I can story tell through by myself. No investment. I've already put time into drawing. I can tell a story. Might not be the best, might not be great, right? But animation takes too long, in my opinion, for me, right? Doing a movie, anything, writing music, all these things. I don't have those disciplines there. But for comics, I've tried, thankfully, in a lot of ways, trying to get to the Marvel, DC, and all that stuff. It was the storytelling. That's why I love playing role playing games and video games. It's not. Don't get me wrong. The occasional Street Fighter is great. Star Wars. I'm playing that right now. Battlefront 2. All that stuff. Like the shooters. Like it's fun. It doesn't always have to be that, but it can be fun. But it's the storytelling is what keeps me coming back. And now that I've come to realize that, I still want to make comics because of what I just said. I can, right? But that's the one thing that I enjoy about even my day job, right? Is there's moments where I get to do concept art or whatever is helping tell a story, and that's what it is that gets me excited, is being a storyteller. And that's really all I needed to know, is why are you doing this, right? Which, storytelling. And I can't give me 1 second, I apologize, as I'm rambling here. I forgot my other my other reason for doing this. Oh, right, okay, I got it now. And this one's just a personal one, just like that is, but this one's actually super important to me, which is leaving something behind. Not because I want my ego, boosted up or anything like that. I don't want people to remember me just because I need some sort of celebrity status. I'm thinking, if I have kids, or like even if I don't have kids or whatever, I have a niece and she's gonna grow up. And if anything I can do can, in some way, I don't know how, whether it's through experience or knowing her uncle can do it or whatever. If I have kids, even better. I don't want to force the art on them, but I want to show that, Dad did something, right? And it actually moved something inside of me. And I don't know if any of you guys have found that. And I encourage you guys. Hopefully, you don't have to wait or go through the stuff I'm going through or that I've gone through. Again, that makes it sound way more big of a deal than it is. But finding that why that makes you excited to do what it is, that you feel like an emotional reaction to. When I say I want to leave something behind that might help, and it might not even be family. Honestly, even you guys and you girls, right? The comments. I was rewatching some videos and even some emails and a letter or two that you guys have sent me saying like, you've helped me, you got me at Art Funk, like that shit. I forgot the weight of that, and that's the thing that's getting me, thankfully. And again, thank you guys so much. But it's the thing that's getting me, like, keep telling stories that don't stop. Even though like I've only got JESOP King right now, whatever. Keep doing it. That's what gets me excited to do the thing, right? So anyway, there was that. The last thing here, which was this last little post, which was this last little comment. I hope this gets you guys excited. I read this and I got super pumped. I was like, okay. Again, this comes from The Art of War. I highly recommend it. It's like a no bullshit, straight to the point. He's gonna rip you apart, tell you not why you suck, nothing like that, but real talk. And it's super important, especially if you guys are going to commit yourself to long periods of time to doing this. And in that book, he talks a lot about going pro, not meaning money, but the mindset that is. And if you're an amateur, what that mindset is. And not one's wrong, but it's more geared towards like you. In here, you're kind of like the war of art, I guess, right? So anyway, he says this. The artist committing himself. I just hit puberty there. Did you hear my voice crack? That was that was emasculating. Okay. The artist committing himself to his calling has volunteered for hell, whether he knows it or not. He will be dining for the duration on a diet of isolation, rejection, self-doubt, despair, ridicule, contempt, and humiliation. I'll read that last sentence one more time. He will be dining for the duration on a diet of isolation, rejection, self-doubt, despair, ridicule, contempt, and humiliation. Why I love this so much is this is, I get in a way what I'm feeling, and it's okay. What this told me was this is the artist's way. Maybe not every artist, but for a lot of artists. I'm not saying you look at the negatives and that's all you focus on. How I interpreted that was those feelings you have, every artist has, and you're always gonna have it. If you don't have it, what's the point? What's the point of sharing and creating and even if you're just drawing superheroes punching somebody for a job, I got it. But if your thing is like, for me, storytelling, it wears you down. It wears you down just continually trying to spout a truth or something. And I don't want to turn this into something bigger than it is, but that was awesome for me to hear. It really went like, you know what? I'm feeling these things. This guy's talking about it. That means other people are thinking about it. That means it's not up here that I'm all messed up or whatever. It's just, as an artist, that's the cost. The fact that we're able to be magicians, as I always like to say, of convincing people that what they're looking at, like a flat piece of paper or on the screen, is a 3D thing, able to tell a story through pictures and words and sounds and song, and it can make people cry and stuff. That's what better thing is there than that, right? And you can't just make that stuff. You can't just do that. That's too much power. So the way I look at it is that counterbalance for us being able to make people cry and happy and get on with their lives. How many of you looked at a piece of art? Have you ever cried at a movie or a comic book? Do you have art on your wall because you like looking at it? What's the cost? The cost to make that, it's not just like you just make it and that's it. The cost is in here and in here, I think. And that's what this summed up perfectly. Our ability to let people cry and enjoy life, the cost is that makes us, I don't want to say enjoy life less, but we have to take that hit from time to time in order to realize, what was that one quote that I heard, I think from Vanilla Sky, and I'm going to butcher it. It's like, he was talking about relationships. You can't have the sweet without the salt. I think it's something like that. Or it could be bitter. I think it's bitter and sweet. So you can't have the love of your life without some arguments. There's costs, right? It can't all just be 100% flying through the clouds. So anyway, I'm getting out of here. I can't wait. I got some drawing to do. I'm actually going to stream right now. So I don't know when you guys are going to see this video, probably after the fact, but thank you so much for the support. If you're here on Patreon, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys sticking around, those that did, even though I said, this is going to be a long time away and stuff. I was just in the headspace. I just had to pull the plugs on everything. I thought this was going to take longer than it did, but thankfully I'm out of the funk. We'll see how it goes once I get back into it. But appreciate all the support, all the kind words, all that cool stuff. If you guys, feel free. If you need a comment, you want me to go back and forth with you a little bit, chat with you a bit, by all means, leave a comment in YouTube here, all that cool stuff. So anyway, I'm going to find where are you at, the stop recording button right there. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And like always, keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.